Welcome to an epic war. We have Tribe Gaming versus the Queen Walkers, two professional teams showcasing Town Hall 13 at its best. 5 versus 5 war, and you will see every single attack in this video. This is all part of the Elite Warrior United Season 6. It is an epic tournament, guys, and I will be streaming a lot of it moving through this year. Everything you need to know about it is down in the description of this video, but we are into the first attack. It is Hex, a new player of Tribe Gaming. Remember, Tribe have merged with WHF to give themselves a brand new roster for Town Hall 13. If you are interested, I do have a video from Itsu, their team captain, explaining all of this, and I will also link that down in the description, as well as the information about the Elite Warrior United. So we are about to see the meta of Town Hall 13 from the pro players, and straight away we have Hex using his kill squad down to the bottom of the base, and it looks like his queen is not really paying attention to what he wants her to do. Fortunately, she loops back into the base right in time to take out the 3 ice golems. Now that is one thing that I feel is going to be in the meta moving into this new year. The 3 ice golems will aim to slow down a queen charge or a kill squad of any form and try and make you run out of time. Now, a lot of the players have been able to upgrade their bases, managing to test out some of the new strategies and getting themselves ready for the Town Hall 13 Cup. I know that both of these teams will be giving it what they have in this tournament. Now, Hex is happy that he's taken out sufficient value to now bring in the Hog Riders. You might note that both scattershot defenses are still up and doing damage. The Queen has walked around the side here, and he's just aiming to bring the Hog Riders into that area. I was just about to say that we are bound to see the Royal Champion come into the north to try and drive the Hog Riders into that central area, and that is what we did indeed see. Takes down one scattershot, takes down the Eagle Artillery, but the second scattershot is doing tremendous value and just wiping out the Hog Riders. Now, the disappointing thing is the Queen here. She has continually battered against walls, has not really been involved with this attack, and I feel that is how this one didn't quite start out how Tribe Gaming wanted. Now, anytime you have a single attack format war, which is exactly what this is, you have to guarantee the 2 stars. You really do not want to be dropping out the 1 star, whether it's a Clan War League attack or whether you're in this ESL style format. You need to get the 2 stars. Hex does a good job of that, manages to get good percentage as well, and I'm sure Tribe will be relatively happy with that. Anywhere around the 90% you've got to be pretty happy with, but I know Tribe, I know the Queen Walkers, and I know that they will be going for anything in terms of the 3 stars. Nothing but, guys, 89%. What can the Queen Walkers do on response? And they're in. They are in. I was just about to cut the recording because every single attack will be shown to you back to back within this war. Stadra of the Queen Walkers is using the brand new Yeti troop. Now notice that he has everything maxed here. However, Itsu pretty much has everything maxed. I'm not going to sit and calculate walls, but I want to say he's maxed. Competitive player trying to give it what they have for that Town Hall 13 Cup. Remember, guys, there's going to be $65,000 on the line for the winning team. So they are going to be wanting to have a maxed out base. Now, Stadra starts here with a Grand Warden Walk, which is something that I always like to do with this strategy. I have showcased this strategy and broken it down for you guys. If you are interested in seeing it, I will drop it in the pinned comments of this video, and I will also link it at the end. But I broke this strategy down, and this is one thing I always try and do. Start off with a Grand Warden walk and try and take out a multi-target Inferno as well, purely because you can create the funnel very nicely for your troops, and that is what Stadra is slowly doing here. Once the Grand Warden has taken out that multi because he has longer range and can reach that, you can then easily pull the Grand Warden where you want, because all you need to do is drop them within his aura and he will switch onto the support style role and move across to where they are. So it's very easy to create that funnel and then pull the Grand Warden where you want, which is exactly what Stadra was not wanting there. The king was going to be used just to set the funnel on the northern side, but accidentally pulls the Grand Warden up to that area, so the multi does not go down, and it does indeed start battering against the healers. So Stadra has to adjust, use the Grand Warden's ability early, gets the jump spell in, but nothing is going to the multi. So the Royal Champion is sent into that area. Thankfully, the Royal Champion takes down the multi-Inferno to protect the healers, but not what Stadra wanted. Will this be corrected? The Hog Riders do indeed split up. I'm assuming he wanted the Hog Riders to come more down to the bottom of the base here, a little bit more controlled where the heal spell is used. Unfortunately, didn't quite get the power into the center of the base, which is exactly what you need to do with this style of attack. If you don't get into the center, then you're not going to get it, guys. You're probably still relatively safe for the 2-star. That's how it's one of the best strategies within the game right now, because there's not a lot that can go wrong in this style of war. Stadra, though, definitely will be disappointed with that. As I mentioned in the first attack done by Hex, all of these pro players will be aiming for nothing but the 3 stars, so I know that even though it's a comfortable 2, they will not necessarily be. I apologize for the recording issues, guys. We lost the last couple of seconds of that attack and the first couple of seconds of this attack. However, we now have Itsu coming into Judo 14, trying to get that 3-star, using a relatively similar strategy here in terms of the Yeti and the P.E.K.K.A. So what we know at this stage is that Tribe Gaming are ahead quite significantly on percentage due to the attack by Hex, and Itsu will hopefully get them the 3 stars here. That is his aim. Now you can see that he's committed a lot into the center of the base. The Yeti and the P.E.K.K.A. have managed to get into the base exactly as he wanted, and the king was used onto the town hall. Quickly popped that ability as well, so that the Hog Riders coming in were not then taken out by the Giga Bomb. So the Hog Riders are able to slowly get in, wipe out the defenses, because the Yeti, with the Yeti Mites, are able to continually distract the defenses. And look at the Hog Riders go. You've got to say that Hog Riders within that siege barracks is a fantastic use of troops. Remember, within a siege barracks, you get 9 Hog Riders. They do get wiped out, but this is the power of this attack when you get everything into the center. You might have noticed a clear difference between these two attacks. Stadra in the previous one didn't quite get the funnel beautifully created, and they did get drawn around the outside of the base, whereas everything went into the middle for Itsu, and it is a 3-star attack. Starting this one out, you've got to say that Tribe Gaming are well into the lead here. So let's very quickly show you. Stadra ended up with a 68% 2-star. Tribe Gaming now definitely in the lead. The Queen Walkers have to answer. Gaku is the member who is going to try and answer, and it is going to be with the Electro Dragons, also using the Electron, or more of just a regular kill squad here actually, no clone spells. Very nicely done there to just wipe out the Town Hall. Doesn't get too much value from that E-Drag, nearly gets the air defense, might just clip it here with the balloons, I think he will, and gets the Black Bomb popped as well. So just from from the clan castle, takes out the town hall. That's a pretty good exchange, I feel, because the town hall 13 with the Giga Inferno does a lot of damage. And again, as we mentioned in the very first attack by Hex, you've got to ensure that you get the 2 stars. And one thing with E-Drags is they may divert across the base where you might not necessarily want them to. Now let's have a look at this. We've got one ground expo in the center. We know that E-Drags got that level up to level 4 at Town Hall 13, and they're certainly very good at that. Just continuing to freeze the Scattershot, Expo, Queen, and the Eagle, so good value from the freeze spells, but the E-Drags down to the bottom have digressed and gone around the base, and not necessarily got the sweepers. I think that is where he wanted the E-Drags to get into. The Queen and Royal Champion down the bottom of the base did enormous value, but the Royal Champion comes in clutch, taking out the sweepers, which could be huge for the Electro Dragons. This one might get the multi here with the electric damage. Oh, it does not. It is going to be close. It was a nice attack using the E-Drags. I think the Expo within the center of the base is going to be the savior for Lexnos, and I'm excited to see Lex attack as well. Lex also recently started a YouTube channel. I will link his channel down in the description as well. Super nice guy. I met him when we were out for the Town Hall 12 Cup, and I'm super excited to see him and WHF teaming up with Tribe Gaming. Exciting things within Clash of Clans in general for 2020. Now this is coming down to a close finish. I know how good the E-Drags are. You know how good the E-Drags are. Can they get it done? They will chain through the multi. That means they can get onto the gold storage, but they're going to be stuck there as the Expo continues to slam onto them. But they take the gold storage very easily. 30 seconds. As long as the Expo goes down, it will be a 3-star. It doesn't have much in the way of health, so the E-Drag gets it. But it is a close battle. Oh, and it's going to be a 99%, guys. That is so close. Imagine if the electric damage at the end had have got the multi. Heartbreak for Gaku, but that is the difference between a 2 and a 3, and in these intense wars, you've got to say that the pro players will take everything in their stride. So Tribe Gaming, percentage advantage, in the lead in stars, but we're only 2 attacks in per team. We were discussing it, but now we have Lexnos attacking Eren CPB using the Queen Charge into miners. Now, I feel at Town Hall 13, the miners are underrated. They do tremendous. Obviously, they got a boost as well in terms of that new level, and they've got a lot going for them, the miners, because they are very advantageous against the Scattershot. Often they are too quick for the Scattershot. They miss the Tornado as ever, and in terms of that Giga Bomb, which is even stronger now, they still get under it. So the miners do incredible for me, especially with that hybrid attack where we have seen the miners used alongside the Hog Riders. Now this is what I'm talking about, defense CC meta. Let me know in the comments if you think there is a stronger combination, but with that 45 troop capacity, I feel like the 3 Ice Golems is the way to go. Now what we see here is the Queen going down and the healers swapping to the miners, so definitely not what Lexnos wanted. It is going to mean that the miners are forced a little bit off track. He wanted the funnel for them, the pathing to be a little bit tighter here, but they may get caught over by the clan castle, getting to that Scattershot pretty quick. Now this is something which is interesting for me in terms of the Royal Champion being in with the miners. One benefit of the miners is using them onto an area where they can take down the enemy queen, because they don't just attack defenses. So the Royal Champion doesn't necessarily need to be in there as she does with Hog Riders. Often you might see her trying to snipe a different area of the base, but it's not going to happen here. The queen going down at the start of the raid really just done a number over onto Lexnos's attack, and unfortunately it's not going to be the 3-star. It is close to 70%, so it is probably going to be similar in terms of total destruction now. But if the Queen Walkers were to get a 3-star attack, which would give them 20%, it would skyrocket them into the lead in this war. RNCPB it is, coming in with a Lava Loon attack versus Evechek. We know how solid of a player Evechek is, so we will be excited to see him attacking after this. But RNCPB, an experienced player, been with the Queen Walkers for pretty much the longest time, competed with them throughout the World Championships last year, so I am excited to see a Lava Loon attack at Town Hall 13. Now, the hero potion has been used here, and it didn't quite get the Royal Champion to max level. Level 17, still very high, but definitely is going to miss out on a few differences when you get it to max level. And it's bigger than you think, because she can one-shot the cannon, which she cannot when she's not max level. Will that be something which is a disadvantage to RNCPB? We will find out within this attack. Just slowly taking his time here, setting up the funnel to the north and allowing access straight to the Giga Inferno Tower. Now, the one thing about this style of Lalo, the bigger Lalo if you will, the Sui Lalo, is that it's definitely weaker now at this level, purely because there's more splash damage. So you have 2 scatter shots to deal with. You have the increased damage from the Giga Tesla. The Giga Inferno, still getting used to it, guys. I've got to get there. I've only slipped up once this commentary, but you've just got more splash damage, so it's harder. You've got to try and pick off the splash a little bit easier. Queen takes down that Giga Inferno, then gets stuck on the 3 ice golems. The Stone Slammer here, though, is a good option to get onto the Multi-Inferno. That goes down, and 2 dragons are in that Stone Slammer to get straight onto the enemy Queen. Beautifully done. Not just taking out the splash damage, but then taking out the Queen as well. Now, the Lava Hounds have been deployed pretty quickly across the base here, and by the time the loons get to 6 o'clock, both of the Lava Hounds has popped. Potentially could have delayed on one of the deployments of the Lava Hounds, but there's a lot of loons coming across to this back end, and he has 2 freeze spells and 3 haste spells left, not to mention the Skelly spell as well, which is most likely going to be used for the Royal Champion. Could have been a backup plan for that Queen as well, but there goes the Skellies. The balloons getting shredded by that back area with the Multi-Inferno, with the scatter shot. You've got to say that if the Royal Champion had have came in earlier, he might have stood a bit better of a chance, but didn't want to attack the Royal Champion head on. Could have maybe deployed the Royal Champion from up at 11 o'clock to target these defenses out of the way of the Royal Champion, and that might have meant he could have snuck onto the splash damage before the balloons got there, but timing would have had to be incredible. Still a higher percentage than the previous attack by Tribe Gaming, so keeps Queen Walkers in this, but they've got to get a 3-star now. Only 2 attacks remain per team. Tribe still in the lead. Here we now have Evechek attacking with the strategy that Itsu got his 3-star with, using the Yeti and the P.E.K.K.A. Starting with that Grand Warden walk, you always want to just take your time initially, get the funnel set up for this strategy. Again, I have a pinned comment of the video where I broke down this attack, and I will link it at the end of this video. However, it's a very fast attack, so you don't always have to worry about time, but you do have to worry about the Yeti walking around the outside. You've got to get them into the middle, so spend that little bit extra setting up the funnel initially. And now Evechek is just aiming to pull that Grand Warden across. Also, make sure your Grand Warden is not on air when you deploy him. You'd be surprised how easy it is to forget about that. Just double check, guys. Beautiful use of the earthquakes to allow access from the Town Hall compartment straight into the middle. very nice base recognition there, and then the jump spell will be used on the back end of the base as well. Arguably could have done this either way around, but using the 4 earthquakes at the bottom means that the town hall gets that extra damage onto it as well, alongside the eagle artillery and a lot of expos that were down in that region as well, whereas the damage at the top wasn't necessarily as much. A huge force coming through the base here for Evechek. Healers keeping the P.E.K.K.A. and the Yeti alive as they demolish this base, and that is just about it. It is wrecked. I'm sorry, Klaus, but your base is getting 3-starred, no problem here. Look at all of the Yeti left. Now, they don't have Yeti mites in their basket, so they are going to just slowly tank and allow the Royal Champion to come through, take out them final defenses, and like I said, it's a very fast attack. 1 minute left in this raid, and Evechek gets the second 3-star for Tribe Gaming, meaning that Queen Walkers have to go perfect and Tribe Gaming have to fail their attack. 3 stars it has got to be, and they are using the strategy which Tribe Gaming have used successfully in terms of the Yeti and the P.E.K.K.A. Probably the best attack within the game right now, and definitely the strongest for Town Hall 13. Remember, it's a very safe attack as well, so you should be relatively comfortable for the 3 stars. Wazman is the player who is joining Tribe Gaming here. If you do watch the video by Itsu, which is linked down below as I mentioned at the start of this, you will find out the 4 players who will be playing for Tribe Gaming competitively next year, and Wazman is joining them in this war. Who knows? Might be the player that joins them across the season, but I believe that one is still in discussions. By the way, check out Klaus with that brand new Primal Grand Warden. Looks pretty strange watching the hand just kind of flying down over and zapping the defenses. Again though, taking his time at the start of this attack. Everything has to go right. Once the multi-inferno goes down, he will be pulling the Grand Warden more than likely over to this side and driving straight into the Town Hall. The King already setting up that funnel. I do like the use of just a couple of Hog Riders, if nothing else, to snipe in, get their defenses, and try and drive the King up over. I believe he probably wanted the King to come up and help keep the Yeti on the inside of the base. Adapts and sends in just 1 Yeti. You'll be surprised at how strong they are as they power through, but the Yeti mites will only attack defenses, so you don't have to worry about the Yeti mites. However, you do need the regular Yeti into the center of the base. They get caught. They're drawn into the middle compartment here due to skeleton traps, due to the Royal Champion, and he's got a long way to go before they hit the Town Hall. The ice golems popping, freezing everything in the center, and the Yeti mites do jump across and get the defenses, but everything is going down to the south here, and although that's kind of what he wanted in terms of taking out them buildings, I'm sure he wanted a little bit of a stronger push to that Town Hall, because the Stone Slammer coming in has a long way to go here. A few balloons are hasted to try and get the Tesla down and drive the Stone Slammer onto the Town Hall. It works. The Stone Slammer gets to the Town Hall, but unfortunately all of the balloons inside are going to be history once the Giga Bomb goes off, and unfortunately for Klaus, just doesn't have the push through the base here. Everything driving themselves down over, I don't think was the best option. I think this jump spell used within this wall, not opening that southern compartment, might have been better to drive them straight to the Town Hall, and then maybe even using the Royal Champion down into that area might have been the better option. Difficult to say, but it's not what the Queen Walkers needed, and now they are hoping that Tribe Gaming only get a 1-star in their next attack. If it is a 2-star, then the war is over. They will not be able to catch up, as it will move Tribe Gaming to 12 stars. It's that strategy again, and if anything we've seen throughout this war can be replicated then this attack is the one that might get us the 3 stars. The Grand Warden Walk being used up to the top here. Now that could create a nice funnel to then use the king, drive over towards the town hall, and drive everything else into the center. Uses the earthquakes very early on. An interesting tactic, actually got the clan castle down to 50%. Imagine a couple of lightning spells now to wipe that out. Definitely wouldn't be valuable, but it would be cool to watch either way. We have the baby dragon used on the bottom. Now that is key to drive the king in towards that town hall so that he doesn't walk on the outside of that wall compartment. The Grand Warden is used relatively early in terms of pulled across to the Yeti. Thought he might have waited till this wizard tower went down, but gets everything set up in terms of that funnel, and that is the most important thing. I like that balloon that just sneaks in to try and help them healers. Remember, you've got to keep your force moving through the base very strong, and the king does indeed run into a bit of trouble down here. The barbarians caught in the tornado trap are spun all around, king onto the Giga Inferno. The Pecker is there as well, and hopefully he's got the damage to get that down before the Hog Riders get in within its range and get fried just about. The timing of that was incredible. The Hog Riders dodge it, move to the Tesla farm. This is looking strong for Wazman as the Pecker and Yeti move on over to the east of the base. The Queen and the Royal Champion starting to tackle the western side, and as long as the Queen presses the ability, gets the multi, might not even need to press it. Remember, you can be very risky now due to the automatic abilities. I think this is a 3. We've got 1 minute left. Still got a heal spell. Probably going to swag that. Could have been used for the Hog Riders, but decides to just beef up the Pecker and the Yeti as they move over to this final area. Royal Champion slamming home the defenses. That's the difference, guys, between a maxed Royal Champion and a non-maxed Royal Champion. I mentioned it earlier on in the commentary, but as you've seen there, the level 18 Royal Champion did not one-shot the cannon. Queen down to the bottom. The one time you want her to batter on a wall, and she does to get to the dud building. So it is going to be victory for Tribe Gaming. Queen Walkers, can they get a 3-star? Can they give themselves a bit of confidence moving forward? Remember though, this is only round 1 of the EWU, and you'll find everything down in the description of the video about round 2 and the rest of the tournament, how you can stay in tune with everything, and the Queen Walkers can very much still fight back. This is only round 1, but Hex is going to be the person attacked, and it is team captain TH13 with the Electro Dragons. Now you've got to say they were super close before. 99% it was. Can TH13 get this one though? An interesting use of that Royal Champion, aiming to get in towards that multi, assumably. Does take down a couple of defenses, but I'm not sure the value was totally there with that. Let's find out though. That Battle Blimp coming into the Town Hall again, something which we've seen twice now by the Queen Walkers, and that's pretty good value there. To get that one chain from the E-Drag, take down the Town Hall. Under Rage though, you've got to say that is a lot. With just the Clan Castle troops, it's okay, but with the Rage spell, it is a lot to take that down. I'd far rather see it in combination with the attack. But we have the Queen now to the north. What is going on here? Queen to the north, Royal Champion to the south, Battle Blimp to the east. What is happening to the west? Is that where the E-Drags are coming in from? Time will tell. Queen might just about get that air defense. Oh, she doesn't. She goes down. So, how many do we have left? We have 2 air defense that are left standing. Just 1 E-Drag used to chain through this bottom area. Very nice indeed. Thinned out the base nicely here, Yuda. Very surgical. But does he have enough with the E-Drags to come through? He's got 4 Rage spells and 2 freeze spells. So he's definitely got a good amount of spells, but I don't think he got the value he wanted from that Royal Champion. In they come. Freezes the air defense straight away because he doesn't have a lot of E-Drags here. He's got to make sure that they survive. So pops that Grand Warden's ability as the Black Bomb popped up and was ready to wipe one of them down. freezes the queen, can't really freeze anything else alongside that, so does just freeze the queen. That grounded expo, oh no, misclicks on the rage spell over by the baby dragon. The baby dragon will get zero benefit because obviously it's enraged anyway. You've got to say though that that final rage wouldn't have really made a difference because the E-Drags do go down. I like the style of attack, very surgical, very planned and precise, but it just didn't happen for Judo 14, and it just didn't happen for the Queen Walkers. You've got to say, some experimental stuff from them in this war. Very impressive as ever, but Tribe Gaming coming out swinging, getting the victory on this one. And for the EWU, there are 3 rounds initially, so it's all about how the teams do within them 3 rounds. And so far, Tribe Gaming get the win, and they obviously are in a better position. But the other 2 will be key. Queen Walkers can still fight back. Again, everything you need is down in the description. We've got 5 minutes left, but all of the attacks are in. Tribe Gaming it is, 13-10. I hope you guys enjoyed this war. Thank you to the EWU and the teams for having me involved with this, and I will be covering a lot more moving through the season. If you do want to see the video though, breaking down that Yeti attack strategy, I'm going to link it on your screen here now. Be sure to check that one out, guys, if you're interested in knowing how to do it. But that wraps it up for this one. We will see you here again tomorrow. Until then, take care.